Hey, Shackers! It's time for another episode of This Week in Switch 2. I'm your host, Asif Khan. I'm CEO, Editor-in-Chief, EIEIO over here at Shacknews. That stands for Extremely Intelligent Extreme Intelligence Officer, which is a title that's not just made up, it's actually designed to increase our valuation, which today, with the Federal Reserve cutting rates, I don't know if I even needed that title, but you know what? I'll take it. I'm joined by my co-hosts here, who have been hobbled by various ailments. Hopefully we can make it through this podcast. Our news editor, Diamond Erskine's here.
What's up?
And our long reads editor and documentarian back from Dallas, Texas, David Craddock is here.
Hello.
Hey. Let's get into it. There was a Nintendo Direct last week. David was on the road when we recorded our reaction to it. So I kind of want to start, David, with just like, what were your thoughts of the Direct?
We talked a lot recently about how the Switch 2 is kind of shaping up to be good enough in a lot of ways. And I felt that the last week's Direct was what I needed to hear as a Switch 2 owner who hasn't been kind of over the moon from the software so far. I really liked the 20 or so minutes dedicated to Mario's anniversary. I think there's some great stuff coming down the pipe, pun intended, which we'll talk about. I really liked the Metroid Prime 4 release date. I'm glad it didn't get bumped. I thought it was going to get bumped.
I won 6 tacos from Ozzy because of that.
That's true. You did.
And I have to find a new thing to rant about now that Doug Bowser has delivered.
And I was just really happy with it. It kind of reinforced my confidence that there's a lot still to come for the system. It's got me excited. And if you're a Switch 1 owner, it's not like you'll be hurting for games either.
Yeah, we got another look at Tomodachi Life, the next one, wherever I can't remember what it was called.
Island Getaway or something like that.
Don, is Pokopia cross-platform like Switch 1, 2, or is that just Switch 2?
I think that was a Switch 1 and 2.
Because that's another game that people will be able to play on Switch, David. And then, also, Switch Online subscribers.
Actually, you know what? The trailer just says Switch 2.
Okay, so Pokopia is Switch 2 only. Thank you. But we also got, for Nintendo Switch Online subscribers on both platforms, David, boy, did you get a treat.
Oh, boy.
Virtual Boy.
Yeah. I have thoughts on this, though. I don't think it's a bad thing. Nobody asked for it, and I get that. I certainly didn't. But I'm a game preservationist, and bad games have to be preserved too, right? A lot of these games aren't bad. They were just on bad hardware.
Yeah.
But, like, this library should be preserved the same as any other. So I'm glad to see it come to Switch Online.
I guess bad ergonomics also have to be preserved, David, because the stand is still there. And I don't know if you saw the cardboard version. You slide your Joy-Con on the side of it, and you're supposed to just hold it to your face while using the controllers.
No.
That's a horrible user experience.
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting about that announcement is that it is going to be on the Switch 1 as well as 2.
Yes.
Because obviously the GameCube Classics is only on Switch 2.
Yes.
And they got a little bit of pushback from that because obviously, people are like, it's not like the Switch 1 can't run GameCube games. So it's interesting to see them go back. Now it kind of leaves the door open when we eventually get to a Wii or a DS. Do those also come to Switch 1 or will they just be Switch 2 joints? Who cares?
That's adorable. Donovan still thinks the Wii's coming to Switch Online.
They're going to do the Wii. They're going to do the Wii.
That's interesting, Donovan. I feel like they did this, though, because this isn't something that anyone would push back from. Like, why keep it from anyone? Whereas the DS or the Wii would be a pretty big selling point if it were only on Switch 2 online, right? That's my thoughts on it anyway.
I saw a shocking amount of people who were actually excited by this announcement on social media.
I mean, one on our own Shacknews team here. Steve Tomiski was
he chimed in on the Shack chat that he was very excited for Virtual Boy coming to Switch Online. And I was
That's right, it was his favorite announcement from the show, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, are you serious?
What?
Yeah.
His favorite? Oh, I can't. My voice can't take that. His favorite.
You're hurting him, Steve. Look, you're hurting David.
You're hurting me, Steve.
Actively, I actually asked him because as editor-in-chief, I'm like, are you trolling? Like, is this a troll? No.
Yeah.
That was his favorite. I'm like, okay, if that's your favorite announcement, I'm not going to tell you what to feel, but I am going to make sure it's not for the meme. Like, it's actually real. But I guess he is feeling passionate about being able to play Virtual Boy games finally, which you could on emulators and on a flat screen, which honestly is a better way to experience it. Now, we talked about it last episode, but the frame rate on the Switch 2 will allow for non-vomit inducing VR in this cardboard world that we're living in. So that's interesting, at least. Yeah, I understand like the whole game preservation, games history aspect of it for sure. But that was a weird one. That when you brought up the Switch 1 users weren't left holding nothing here, that was one of the announcements the Switch 1 users did get.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to go back to Metroid. This is the one, like Donovan, with like a few days now removed from the direct, like we've gotten to watch the social media reaction to the Metroid Prime 4 trailer, and people are like, "This game's gonna suck. I don't know the hub world." I saw someone even say it made them think of Gears 5, and I was like, "Come on, like."
So random. That's such a random comparison.
There is no Kate Diaz situation here. Like, I'm sorry. I love Gears, and I hate Gears 5, and I love the Metroid Prime franchise specifically, almost more than the 2D Metroids. I'm just, you know, I have a special place in my heart for like the first Metroid Prime on the, you know, the early days. But yeah, like I think people are really quick to judge Nintendo right now, and to think that they delayed this game because it wasn't good enough, right? And they completely rehauled it. They completely rebooted the development of this. The idea that they would just release a crappy version of this game after all this time, it just seems kind of dumb to me. And also, I played the game. I was at the April event. I've played this game at 120 frames per second with mouse controls, and it was a magical experience. Like, I was like, this is one of the coolest things I played at this whole show. So yeah, like as someone who has played Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, like, I think some people need to chill with this overreaction. I think the motorcycle and the open world element kind of got people weirded out by it, David. I don't know. What do you think of that?
I don't know that I'm that excited about a vehicle. That actually makes me a bit leery these days. It might mean the world is a little bit too big to just traverse on foot, which I'm kind of used to doing in Metroid, as well as using Samus's other means of traversal, right? Like her tools have always made vehicles feel redundant in those games to me. I kind of agree with you though. I don't know why people are so down on this, especially when a lot of people went into this direct hoping for a release date, and then they get what they want and they kind of poo-poo on it. So it doesn't make much sense. What I'm more interested in is I don't think the mouse will actually be a big selling point for this game, because Metroid Prime is, scanning is as important as shooting, and to scan you need to lock on anyway. So I'm probably going to play it with the mouse just to test it, but then I'll be going back to using probably the Pro controller because of all the scanning that's involved.
Well, what I thought was interesting in my demo is that you play it in the Homer Simpson mode with your two hands separated, right? You're not attached to the console, so you have one left Joy-Con, right Joy-Con. What's really cool about the mouse, I don't know if you noticed this in Welcome Tour at all, but you can switch. Donovan, you probably noticed it in Drag and Drive. You can switch from mouse to regular controller mode seamlessly.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there were times, David, where you're right. I would go from being in mouse aiming mode during the shooting parts, and I would just flip it, 90 degrees, and now I'm playing it like it's a gamepad. So
that's nuts.
It's the seamlessness of that I think will have some people excited to try it that way. But even if you don't want to play it with mouse controls, 120 FPS Nintendo first-person game, like that's a first. That I think people are like the frame rate snobs, which I might be after last week's episode, right? I'm not, but I had strong feelings about a Donkey Kong game. Which, boy, do I still have some strong opinions, Donovan. We'll get to that here in a second. But I'm none of my excitement is gone. I was confused when they showed the motorcycle. I was like, is this a different Metroid game? What is this, a kart teaser? Like, what are we looking at here? And then the transition off of the third person bike into the first person, I thought it was like a cool demonstration of like how seamless this game is going to be. So we'll see. Like, it's just one trailer. Everything else we've seen and the gameplay that I have actually experienced has me excited for this game still. And I am going to be curious, like, when it comes out, how we feel mouse versus non-mouse, gamepad versus regular, and also like Switch versus Switch 2. Like, I really can't wait to hear how these games differ in performance. Yeah, like Pokemon Legends ZA, Metroid Prime 4, Beyond, both kind of coming out on both systems. How are they going to run on the 8-year-old Switch 1? I think that'll be interesting to see. Probably, Donovan, you're looking like you think probably poorly.
I mean, it's going to look and run worse than the Switch 2 version, for sure.
Almost intentionally.
I'm sure it'll be fine, but, it will definitely be an inferior version of that game.
That's what I wonder about Metroid Prime 4. Like, I don't expect it to hit 120 frames per second on Switch 1, but do we think it'll do 60? Like, is that possible? I mean, it started development as a Switch 1 game, so I would think they would be tailoring to that hardware to a degree.
I think that's what they're saying. I saw a graphic. I don't know where they were taking it from, but I think they have previously said it would be like 720, 60 on like the docked version of Switch 1. Don't quote me on that, but there's some sort of performance spec that's running around the internet right now. But yeah, I know we're a Switch 2 focused podcast, but obviously we all have Switch 1s, or we all had a Switch 1 for many years. I kept mine. I don't know about you guys. It's a good luck charm for me. I have my Tesla Model S and I have my Switch 1. They're little trophies that I keep around to remind me that I'm the greatest stock picker of all time. But yeah. We got some other trailers, man. Like, I am a Zelda lore nerd, admittedly so, to the point where David likes to roll his eyes at me at times because it is a convoluted mess at this point. And I readily admit that. But I feel like we have a start point and an end point, right? There's Tears of the Kingdom, oddly enough, I think is the start point. And the end point is Skyward Sword, right? So there's a whole spaghetti mess. There's a maze of spaghetti between those 2 points. And they're adding another data point for us. It's called Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. We got a new trailer for it. They actually dropped another gameplay trailer today. We're filming this on September 17th. So Nintendo dropped like a little bit more gameplay today, and they announced that if you have a Tears of the Kingdom save file or an Age of Calamity save file, it'll unlock different swords in Age of Imprisonment. So that's kind of cool. But also, who is this dude? This construct-looking dude? Who is this dude? You see him? Have you seen him, David? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Who's the dude?
Yes, I do. I think it is some sort of Link facsimile, honestly. Like, I don't think, first of all, you can't have one of these games without Link in it or some variation of Link. You can't.
Right?
People want Link.
But, and this is just this is the early story in Tears of the Kingdom, right? Zelda is sent back in time, right? To the founding of the Kingdom of Hyrule. Link is still in the future. So you have a Day of the Tentacle situation going on, and there's no Chrono John. So, like, I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I have a theory. And it is a little spoilery. For the 90% of people who have not completed Tears of the Kingdom, there's another sage. Okay? Surprise. There's another sage.
I'm shocked.
Let's say this sage has this ability to help spirits exist across different times. So what if it's like, you know how the Age of Calamity kind of introduced this random robot that Zelda sent back in time, and that's how they kind of dealt with some of the issues there? I wonder if there's something like that going on, where it's like a virtual presence robot for Link.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with him. I really do believe.
But, like, and the way Zelda's looking at him in these trailers versus how Zelda looks at Link in Breath of the Wild and in Tears of the Kingdom, it makes me think that this is probably that Link, the Age of Calamity Link, right? But yeah, I was kind of thinking, like, Link's fine and all, but I'm going to be a Rauru main in this because he's the original king of Hyrule, and you also have Queen Sonia and like all these other characters from that era that I think is going to be neat. Also, a Korok that you can fight as, David. I dove deep into Zelda Twitter this weekend, and there's some people who think that could go on to be the Great Deku Tree, and I'm like,
they've done that before. They've done it for like the in Ocarina of Time. After you clear out the old Deku Tree, the Forest Temple, the new sprout grows up to become the Deku Tree in Wind Waker. So they've kind of planted that seed before, if you will.
See what you did there. Yeah. The other thought I had, and this is probably more unlikely, I haven't actually completed Skyward Sword, but I've watched the spoilers and everything. I need to play that game just to complete my Zelda-dom. I know I don't, but I kind of do. Okay. What if it's the hero Shade? Like, because that's the one. He's the one who's traveled through time with the Master Sword, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I threw it in there. I made a vertical video about this over the weekend, and I threw him in there too because I was like, what if it is that kid? From Ocarina of Time, who went on to become a jaded shell of himself. Like, it could be a redemption arc for the hero Shade, is all I'm saying. But yeah, I think it's Link or Lonk. I'm not sure, but it's exciting. It's like a new character, at least in that universe, or something else entirely. But it looks like he's gonna be kind of OP. He can fly, and I don't know. Stay tuned, folks. But it does look like Zelda is holding the Master Sword and it's a damaged Master Sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, not a spoiler, the first few minutes of Tears of the Kingdom, the Master Sword is shattered by the Demon King, right? Anyway, I was excited by that, though. I'm like, new Zelda lore? It feels like they do this with the Hyrule Warriors franchise. Like, it's not even really a story-driven game. It's more of just Musu, beat 'em up. But I'm excited for this one because it looks like it actually runs well. And the last one, Age of Calamity, did not run well on the first Switch. It didn't. And it just made it not as fun. So I'm happy to see like a better optimized Hyrule Warriors game, because those are like great turn off your brain and play kind of games. It also has split screen, so you can actually play with a friend locally. I think that's pretty cool. Is it Link? Is it a robot? Is there some sort of magic voodoo occurring? And also, is that Korok going to grow up to be a Deku Tree? These are the questions that Zelda nerds are asking themselves after seeing a minute 30 video in a Nintendo Direct. But that's the best part of these. It's just like the random lore nerds who appear like, actually, yeah. Zelda Twitter's had quite a debate about this over the weekend. So I thought we would hit that here. What else did you see at the Direct that stuck out to you, David?
Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, baby.
There you go.
Specifically 2, because I bought 3D All-Stars 5 years ago. I've played Galaxy 1 on the Switch, but I was really hoping, I think you and I don't remember if we had this conversation on the podcast, Asif, but I remember you and I at least texting and saying that they have to at least re-release Mario Galaxy 2 to celebrate Mario's 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
And that was the bare minimum for me. They met and exceeded that, and we could talk more about that, but
yeah,
I'm very excited to get my hands on Galaxy 2 again.
Yeah,
probably one of my favorite 3D Mario platformers.
Yeah, I think maybe one of the best platforming games of all time. But yeah, like we kind of took a detour from the Mario celebration, but let's get back on track. Miyamoto was there. I love that Miyamoto only comes around for special moments on Directs now. He has this elder statesman at water role now, I think, in these Directs. And he showed us an announcement teaser for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And I have one note about this. The two, Dom, I'm sure you have other criticisms about the first Mario movie, and I think you gave it an 8 out of 10 at Shacknews, which is a fair score.
Good.
The two moments, there are three moments I found incredibly cringy in the movie. Seth Rogen laugh, and the two moments where they used popular music instead of Mario music.
I was going to say with the needle drops, man. Needle drops are not great.
Aha, Take on Me and in the Donkey Kong Country Mario Kart scene, like I hated that.
Even Holding Out for a Hero, which is a great song and has been in many great movie sequences, but you didn't need it in Mario.
Didn't need it and that's in the Mario training scene where it's like this platformer test that Peach puts him through. I really, really, really hope they don't feel compelled to ignore what is one of the best soundtracks in the history of Nintendo, the Galaxy franchise. This is just a little bit of news that came out after the Direct, but Galaxy 2 soundtrack is now on Nintendo Music. So if you have Switch Online subscription, you can listen to like the 70 different songs on that soundtrack. And let me tell you, banger after banger after banger, remasters of previous songs and stuff. But yeah, like my one take is like, please Nintendo, don't feel compelled to shove pop music into this movie. It ruins the experience, I think. Because like this is a game, and that's a franchise with such iconic music. And what was his name? Brian Tyler?
Yeah, he's coming back to compose. Did a great job with the first one.
He did a masterful job. It's like excellent. And then they're like, here's Aha Take on Me, and here's Holding Out for a Hero. I'm like, you don't need that. You really didn't need that. And maybe it just showed the insecurity of them after the Mario movie back in the 90s. But now it's like, you know it was a success. You don't need to do that. Now, they might do something really stupid with the casting of Rosalina and just teasing everyone that that's going to be our Shack Chat for this week. I have thoughts on that. You'll find out later this week. And it's just funny. Based on the early answers from our staff, Donovan, it seems like a lot of people are thinking they're going to Chris Pratt this up again.
I liked my answer to tease the Shack Chat.
Yeah. So that's the movie, right? And then after that, they're like, oh, by the way, your favorite platformers are coming to Switch 1 and 2. And this is also a 1 and 2 announcement, David. So like the Switch 1 people can also get Mario Galaxy 1, which they already got in 3D All-Stars, and they can get Galaxy 2, which no one's been able to get. So it was an interesting announcement. This continued a trend going on here in these Nintendo Directs where, they don't really tell us the price. And I think that's because price is now varying across geographies, especially here in North America compared to Japan. But also, like, price in general has become a narrative with these Directs. Is like, things cost too much. Nintendo's kind of slipping these price announcements as press releases after Directs, not during them, right? So they tell you the date, they tell you the games, they tell you the features, they don't tell you the price. And I don't know if they ever really did that. I don't think they ever were super focused on that. But it does feel weird because it creates this like whiplash effect where people are excited about announcement and then they find out information and then they're mad about announcement. And we can talk about that later on the show because I think this is bigger than just these two games. But the price of this, what is it, $80 for both of them?
I think so.
Or is it 70?
80 for 70 for the bundle.
Yeah.
But if you bought them individually, they're 40.
So $40 for Super Mario Galaxy 2, which both of these now will feature mouse controls on the Switch 2 version. That's cool.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to waggle anymore. That's my like literally the only negative I have about the Galaxy games is I don't like to waggle. I do think this means that we might get a Super Mario Galaxy 3. And I think that's a franchise that deserves that. Because imagine what they could do with the power of the Switch 2. What we just saw them do with Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart World. Like, if we actually got a Galaxy 3 out of this, that would be outstanding. I think it's worthy of that. And I would rather that than a Odyssey 2. Although Cappy is down bad right now, man. Because like one of the weird announcements we got at this Direct was the Talking Flower physical product. And like, for the Talking Flower to be elevated and Cappy to get no love, that's just, times are tough.
I like the Talking Flower. I don't prefer the Talking Flower over Cappy, but I like the Talking Flower. Like, I have thought about buying that stupid thing just to have it randomly talk at me throughout the day. Like, yeah, high five, flower, whatever you just said while I'm writing.
Oh,
I could get into that.
Without a doubt, I'm gonna have that stupid flower sitting on my desk whenever it ships, and it'll interrupt us during the podcast, and it'll be better than when the Apple Voice Assistant does. I've gotten better about that, by the way. I call it the Apple Voice Assistant when I'm talking about it to prevent it from interjecting with stupid bullshit. Pro tip for anyone out there, especially people who are on like national broadcasts of football games and stuff. Like, please, Apple Voice Assistant, not the name. So yeah, we're getting some stuff from this. It's not just a Switch Online port of these games. Like, we're getting like a little bit extra. It's a 4K widescreen experience, because those games were what, 4 aspect ratio 4:3
on Wii,
yeah. So like these are like actually HD on the Switch 1 and actually 4K on the Switch 2. And I know like we're in this universe where like people, I've been emulating it at 4K for X amount of years. It's like, good for you. There's a lot of people who don't do that. Like I think what they're setting this up for is there is a whole new group of people who are going to discover the Galaxy franchise with this movie. And now they're going to have 2 games for them to buy. We saw this last movie, Donovan. I labeled it the Mario movie effect. Every Mario game sold better after that movie. It's like one of the main reasons they're doing this whole IP push with the amusement parks and the movies and like the Nintendo Music app. Like, they are expanding their IP elsewhere, but they're doing it to bring people back into the Nintendo ecosystem. So like, just from like a business standpoint, I get why they're doing this. Is $40 too much for Mario Galaxy 2?
I think it might be. Go ahead, Donovan.
Well, I was going to say that I think it's iffy. It's like, for me, it's like right on the border. I think the issue that we run into here is that before all of this happens, Nintendo already had the reputation of being the company that like sells you the thing you already bought the most. They all do it, but pre like Switch, Switch 1 to Switch 2 letting you carry over your games was like this like landmark moment, because they never let you do that. They just sell it to you again. So I think it didn't help that they already kind of had that reputation that a lot of people still hold on to, that like they just want you to buy the thing you already own. That they're like, people don't care that it's 1080p now or that they've added mouse controls. They're just like, this is Nintendo doing the thing that people have always said Nintendo does, even if that's not really the full story.
But like, so I think back, was it a few years ago when they shadow dropped the Metroid Prime 4 remaster, and that was $40, and I didn't hear any of this. Like, it really has become a narrative this year. And I was talking sorry, go ahead, David.
Well, I was going to say, I think 40 is probably too much for Galaxy 1. I think that could easily be 30. But Galaxy 2, $40 is a steal. Like, that game has aged beautifully, and it's still great. Yeah. $40 to me is an instant buy price for that.
Same. I don't even want to buy Galaxy 1 because, yes, I was the idiot who bought 3D All-Stars as well, and I did not like those ports. They were actually pretty terrible at launch, especially. But yeah, getting Galaxy 2, which I consider to be one of the best video game platformers of all time, with all these improvements for $40 is not that crazy to me. But I agree with what you're saying, Donovan. Back in the Virtual Console days, I bought Super Mario World like 7 times from Nintendo. I'm that sap that definitely did that. This is a step above where David's raising his hand too. It's one of the greatest games of all time. What am I supposed to do? Not buy it? Right. I fucking love that game. You're talking about games that I love that kept me interested in this industry for so long. Super Mario World is one of those. And Galaxy 2, for a whole new generation of people that weren't playing games in 2006 and 7 and 8 and 9, who are now, like, you're a teenager now if you're born in that era. I think $40 is not a crazy amount to ask for a game of that quality. So that's just one of the price arguments we'll address here. But let's stay focused on these Mario announcements. We're getting another Mario Tennis, David. I don't get that. We just had one. I want Mario Baseball. I want Donovan's idea of Mario Gridiron, like NFL Blitz style Mario game. I want like a new Mario 3-on-3 basketball. Like, give us other Mario sports. But I don't know. We're getting a Mario Tennis.
What? I think historically Mario Tennis has always been the most popular and the most commercially successful Mario sports IP.
I think golf is right up there though. Like,
golf is right up there, but tennis is great because it's fast and people can get into it quickly.
And it's multiplayer. And it's like,
multiplayer.
It's actually fun multiplayer, although the online has been hit or miss.
Also, technically different franchises and IP, but you can't overstate the influence that Wii Sports Tennis had on just people playing that game in
Yes.
video game form. If I handed my parents a Joy-Con, I was like, "We're doing tennis," like they know, because they played it on the Wii, they get it. So there's like a definitely
Well,
familiarity with there.
by that logic,
Yeah.
we should have Mario Bowling. And now that I've said those words,
That'd be
I
fun.
want Mario Bowling.
That'd be fun.
Like,
That'd be great.
that would be really cool, actually. Doug Bowser, call me. Actually, don't. You already have my wiretap. Anyway, yeah. So we got the weird flower announcement. We got 2 amiibo. We'll get to the amiibo later, but we got 2 amiibo for Galaxy that look really nice. We'll talk about that a little bit later because people are also talking about the price of amiibo right now, and that's, I think, a fair conversation to have. What else did they announce Mario related? Oh yeah, that Yoshi, a talking encyclopedia game, Mr. E.
Yoshi and the Mysterious Book
The book is named Mr. E. So
for encyclopedia.
they got me with that pun, David. They Nintendo,
Yeah.
especially the Mario franchise, they love their puns.
Yes, they do.
Yoshi, what was that? Mario and Luigi Brotherhood? That was just a series of puns. That whole game was just puns. So, I'm sure they're gonna have an interesting take on the Yoshi world. We talked about it last week, Don, but like the frame rate, David, it looks kind of weird. Like the animation style they're using, it made me be
Yeah.
like, is this game broken? But it's not. It's just something they chose to do.
It's that storybook art style, almost similar to like this is a weird comparison, but almost like a Spider-Verse, right? Where they're almost going for that like
Yeah,
disjointed look because it's supposed to be kind of like rough around the edges. Yeah.
man, the Yoshiverse. Imagine
The
like
Yoshiverse into the Yoshiverse.
imagine that chase scene from the second Spider-Verse movie, but with just a bunch of different Yoshis.
It's 1,000 Yoshis.
That would be
That
amazing.
you know, there's a non-0% chance that's in the Mario Galaxy movie. So
Yeah, not surprised that we're getting a Yoshi game because Yoshi is in the Mario Galaxy movie. So
yeah,
we know that from the tease at the end of the first Mario movie. And if you haven't seen the first Mario movie, what are you doing? Go watch it.
it's another character that technically needs an actor, right? Or I guess we just say.
I think it's
Yoshi.
obvious. This one's obvious, Diamond. We don't need a Shaq chat. It's Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Yoshi,
Oh God.
right?
Oh yeah. Sign them up.
It's like,
Oh no.
it doesn't matter who voices Yoshi. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the question here, Donovan, will Yoshi talk?
Well,
I'll say
didn't we-
Yoshi.
Don't we get a Yoshi in the post credit scene for the first movie? Like
Yes.
it cracks and the screen goes like bright. It's just Yoshi. And
Yes.
then it ends. So
In
maybe
theory-
that's all Yoshi will do.
Maybe in theory they don't need to hire a voice actor at all. It's just the game. They have all those different game samples of different the voice actor saying Yoshi in different ways.
They could also pull. I believe the Sonic movies did this when they got to Sonic 2 when they introduced Tails. They just brought in the woman who played Tails in the video games. Like they had Ben Schwartz play Sonic, Idris Elba was Knuckles, but then for some reason with Tails they were just like, let's just bring in the voice actor who's played him for all these years. So
While we're
maybe
still
something like
kind of
that.
on the topic of the Mario movie, are we gonna get to see that Brooklyn family again, or is that it? Was that a one-off?
They'll be
I
in the
bet we
next
see
one.
him again. Yeah.
And
They'll be in it.
all right, how
Yeah,
big of a
yeah.
role do you think Donkey Kong will have in this? Because basically 2/3 of the movie was about getting the Great Kong Army and then immediately losing the Great Kong Army. So like maybe like a little bit, because here's my thought. Mario Kart World has a track called DK Spaceport. This is a Galaxy movie. Maybe the Peach's Kingdom doesn't have space technology, but DK does. So this version of getting to the Kong Army will be getting to DK Spaceport? I don't know. Just a thought.
My bet would be that if the rumors about the Donkey Kong movie are true, which I believe they are, that we'll get a small appearance from DK, much less than he had in the first one. But
Yeah.
whatever it is, it will lob up or kind of throw to whatever the Donkey Kong movie is, you know? So maybe he visits at some point, or maybe we just see him in space and it's like, what are you doing here? See you later. But yeah, I think it'll very gently tie into whatever they do with that story. I don't
Yeah.
think he'll be as heavily used this
Like-
time around.
A one-off scene where they go to DK Spaceport and he wishes them well on their journey or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
like, I gotta go help a little girl find her family. And they're like, what? And then we'll see you in theaters 2027 or 28.
It's like there's this little girl who wants to be a pop star. Like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Peace.
Mhm.
And honestly, DK Bonanza, I think, is a perfect story for a movie. I think
Agree.
you got it. You got it right there. But then, how do New Donk City and Brooklyn exist in the same universe? This is another. I don't think it matters, but just the question.
I don't know. That's always the interesting thing with the adaptations, because they could always just say it's Brooklyn. Maybe at the end of the DK Bonanza movie, they just pop out and it's Brooklyn is where she's from, and you're like, oh, that's the place from the beginning of the first Mario movie. And New Donk City just becomes a video game thing.
I wouldn't be mad if it was just Brooklyn the whole time.
It was Brooklyn all along.
That's the two astronauts meme.
Oh yeah. Wait,
Wait,
just from Brooklyn?
New Donk City was Brooklyn? Yeah, it was the whole time.
Yeah.
I curious to see what they do with the existing cast of characters, but also, Rosalina. I'm excited to see like a new, like just a spotlight being given to Rosalina. And also, like, they have set up this story arc for Peach in the first movie, where she doesn't know where she came from. And I think it would be kind of cool if the movie ends up being, like, the thing that finally puts Rosalina as Peach's mom or something. Like,
oh, that'd be crazy.
Like,
swing.
That would be cool, right? Like, so, just, I want to know more about Peach's origin story, is all I'm saying.
That's like old YouTube, like, conspiracy videos from, like, 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then who is Daisy? Right?
Who is Daisy?
Who is Daisy?
Who is Daisy?
That is a deep philosophical question, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
That will stay tuned for the third Mario movie. We're gonna have to figure that one out there, because that this is not the last movie they're going to make in the Mario universe.
So way too early question or prediction. What do they call the third movie? Because I feel like coming out the first, the like idea I would see a lot on social media was that you do Super Mario World, then Galaxy. That's your trilogy, right? It seemed like that was like the easy, makes the most sense path. Obviously, they're just doing Galaxy next. So what is the third? What do you call the third Mario movie?
Odyssey.
The Super Mario Odyssey movie. Yeah.
Odyssey. I don't know. I feel like they skipped World kind of prematurely. I love
because it feels like you can't go back, because that just feels smaller if you go Galaxy.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
but
Super
Odyssey
Mario,
could be anything.
That's true.
It's true.
I think Odyssey makes sense, but also just throwing a 2 at the end, the Super Mario Galaxy movie 2.
But then they do like Xbox and be perpetually behind one generation, which would be weird.
Yeah.
It could also just be the Mario movie 3. It'll be the third one by then, and maybe you play into Super Mario Bros. 3 with the stage the Tanuki and all that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because they
have a lot of material they could pull from. So
that's a tough one, man. Wonder. Because they don't seem to be. They're not giving up on the Wonder universe. That's part of the Mario Tennis. The hell's that game called? Fever. Yeah. The Wonder mechanic is in that game. The Poplins are in that game. So maybe it's a Wonder movie. I don't think it's big enough to justify the film, but they'll worry about that after they get the Zelda movie out. Would be my guess. But I'm sure they're already thinking about this stuff. I think Odyssey probably makes the most sense. Just based on the progression. Yeah.
It's also worth thinking about the fact that by the time we get to the third Mario movie, the next 3D Mario video game's got to be close, nearby, around, if not out.
Better be out by then. Because, look, I love Donkey Kong Bonanza. I do.
Sure.
But I know Mario, sir, and you are no Mario. It's just not. So I share David's frustration of wanting a new 3D Mario platforming game badly. But in the meantime, we have to wait, and we have Mario Galaxy 2 to help us wait for that. What was the other stuff? We got a Wonder Switch 2 edition with additional DLC. David, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think that'd probably be worth the upgrade for me.
Mm-hmm.
I love Mario Wonder, and I'm all for more of it.
Yeah, I think it's a fun game that it's not incredibly difficult to get through, but if you 100% it becomes very hard. So for those folks, I think it makes sense. And it's like it's just interesting. Like we're not getting an Odyssey Switch 2 edition, I don't think. I think they just gave us the Switch 2 update for free, and they're calling it a day.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's very strange, Donovan. I was thinking that would have been cash grab. Nintendo would have just been like, here's Odyssey 2 Switch 2. Here's Odyssey Switch 2 edition. You kids get the hell out of my office. Like, that would have been that give up Nintendo or that good enough Nintendo I was talking about a couple episodes ago. If they did that, it would have been a wet fart of a direct. But I feel like they gave us a lot of Mario stuff, David. It was like 15 minutes of just Mario stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to hit on the Mario front of the direct?
No, I mean, like I said, that was probably my favorite part. There was a lot of cool stuff that came after, but that Mario part left me more than excited for what's coming.
Nice. Yeah, there was some other stuff about like the museum having like an art exhibit. Donovan, you were at the New York store earlier this week.
Yes.
And you saw like they have a display for the 40th anniversary of Mario.
They had also for the store. I think the store turns 20 this year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because it was the Pokemon Center for a little bit. Then it was like Nintendo something. Then they became Nintendo New York City. And they have a display up where it's like the scissors that they cut the ribbon when they opened it way back. They've got like DS's signed by like Miyamoto and whatnot. They've got pictures from when it was Pokemon Center to when they changed it. They have images from like the events. So there's one where like when they announced Smash Ultimate and like everybody's there watching it live. It was a very cool display. But yeah, also just a lot of like different Nintendo stuff. Way more Animal Crossing, which I thought was interesting. I know when they opened the San Francisco store, that was like the word that kind of came out of that was it was heavy on Animal Crossing stuff. A lot of I was going to say Squid Game, Jesus. A lot of Splatoon stuff. They had like the Inklings, like plushies for all the Inklings and whatnot, which I didn't remember being there the last time I stopped through. But always fun to see them swap the inventory out and interesting to see what they choose to spotlight and when.
I think we're starting to see the influence of that Nintendo Stars project. Letting the Kirby folks run wild with Nintendo IP, and because Kirby merch is awesome. So getting to see plushies from these different franchises and shirts and all that stuff is cool. Although Kirby had a decent representation at the store too, from what I saw.
Yeah, a lot of Kirby.
Which I am here for because I'm declaring it. It's the year of Kirby. Just gonna say it.
Hard to argue. We're getting a second Kirby Air Riders direct, so I mean, not many games can say that. Yeah.
That's weird. What else is there to tell us? That was an extensive 45-minute direct that Sakurai gave us.
It was a rich deep dive into that game. I'm like, what else is there to talk about? Yeah.
So, okay. I like hearing Sakurai talk about games. I'm not going to be mad about that.
Yeah.
But interested to hear what they say there. I want to get into this. Donkey Kong Bonanza got DLC, Donovan. It's called Emerald Rush and DK Island. Now, David, DK Island is fan service for you. Like, this is us olds who love DKC. This is like you get to see DK's house. There's a mountain with in the shape of DK's head. It's cool. Yeah. There's stuff to do on it, I guess. Is it like another layer down? There's not like an elder there or anything.
It's a layer technically. Since it's on the surface, it's an island. It's like above the first layer.
Yeah,
it's just at the top of the thing. But yeah, it doesn't have like any of the mainline stuff attached to it.
It's kind of like another Ingot Isle, right? Like where it's like there isn't a whole lot to do there, but there's stuff to do. Now, last week I shit all over this game's ending. And to unlock this DLC, you have to go meet one of the Kong elders first, right? After you beat the game, you like start it's not New Game Plus, but the post game thing. Like you have to talk to. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you just have to get to the point in the post game where you're teamed back up with Paulina. I think because what I did was I jumped in and I just went to the teleport.
Yeah,
and that's where it started. She was just like, "Oh, my husband, blah blah blah, DK Island."
I couldn't. Straight there. So I did that, and it told me I had to go to talk to an elder first.
Oh, okay.
So I think you have to talk to one elder. But the thing I screwed up on, I didn't have to accept the stupid challenge from the elder. But I did, because I didn't know any better. And it just pissed me off all again, Donovan. Like, what the hell are they doing? 3 of these stupid challenges into the Kong Elders bonus challenge is like...
It's a long arduous challenge. Yeah.
Here comes the shitty frame rate again with the lava. I'm like, really? Really, Nintendo?
Which one were you doing? Was it the first one?
Yeah, the Kong
Yeah,
Elder.
Bonanza.
It was like
Yeah,
3 or 4
right.
challenges in, Donovan, and I was just like, this is some bullshit. I look, and you don't have to do this to unlock the DLC. I accidentally did it, is all I'm saying. But
Right.
it made me be like, oh, I'm not gonna do this. What I will say about Emerald Rush, though, which is it's like a roguelike kind of mode.
It kind of is, yeah, because you're like, they strip down a lot of your abilities, and then during runs, when you get the fossils, you can pick different upgrades that are like, you get 8.5% more emeralds when you knock down roots or when you crack open barrels. That's roguelite stuff, yeah.
So this spoke to me because it's like, hey, you know what you're good at? Breaking stuff and collecting things. It's a whole mode built around that, and it's actually kind of challenging. Like I felt like the Emerald Rush DLC, like I feel like it's actually built for me. Like I actually enjoy this because it's like, hey, the game that I was playing before I started actually progressing in Donkey Kong Bonanza was just breaking shit and collecting gold, right? This is break shit and collect emeralds as fast as you can, and there's a time limit and a quota. So basically, you're working as a Void company contractor.
That's what I was going to mention. Is the way they bring this about is that Void calling himself hires you. He's like, and I screenshotted this because there's a quote that I actually thought was really funny that Nintendo put in here because he hires you to do this for him. Here's the quote. He says, "After making some strategic cuts, Voidco is once again the mightiest mining organization on the surface," which I thought was super funny, parodying like the layoff announcements and how companies talk when they lay people off. But it gives you like the purple helmet, and then you just go hacking away at emeralds.
And it's fun, man. Like I actually enjoy this. You unlock different layers to do this on. So I don't know how many layers are gonna have the Emerald Rush, but so far I've done it. I'm trying to do like one a day on our YouTube channel. So if you go on YouTube, you'll see the DK Island has the Emerald Rush, and then the next one I did was Canyon Layer. I believe I just unlocked the Lagoon Layer, so I'm going to do that one next. But this is like taking the game that I made out of the game and actually gamifying it and adding roguelite elements, David. So it's kind of cool. Each round, you have a new quota that you have to hit, but also during the rounds, if you get fossils or different bananas, it'll like pop up, and it's kind of like Balatro, where it's like, hey, pick this thing to buff this thing, right? Or kind of like Hades even. But I actually enjoy this. It's not bad at all. I am playing it like kind of once a night. So back to price. I feel like that's gonna be a theme of this show. It's $20.
Yeah.
Is that worth it? I don't know. I'll let you know in a few weeks when I'm done playing through all of it, but like I like that it's a new feature. I like that it is for people who have beaten the game already that want more stuff to do. But also I like that it's built around what I think is the best part of the game. Breaking shit and collecting stuff. So
yeah, I'm on the fence. I gotta beat it before I give my final judgment. But yeah, this was like a shadow drop too, because they announced and they're like available today. And like you said, it's paid DLC $20, which would bring your total purchase to $90 because the game is $70. A lot of it gives like free update energy to me. Like it makes me think of like when Odyssey got like extra content and stuff. I don't know if $20 feels a bit steep because it's not like extra story chapters or content really. It's just more like challenges and stuff, which are fun. But again, I don't know. I just go back to like the Nintendo Switch Online subscription, where like that rolled out and we got a bunch of DLCs like
that was
for free, but
the plus expansion pack tier, which
but
now that's not even a thing. Like what happened? Why isn't this would have been perfect for that tier? Like I don't think. Like, if it was $20 without the expansion pack, but if you had expansion pack, you could just get this, I don't think there would be as much complaints. Because right now, I feel like it is pretty pricey. I agree with you. It is kind of like the Luigi's Balloon update for Odyssey.
Yeah.
It adds more useful life to the game. It definitely is a new mode and everything, but it's not... So far, I'm like, I don't think this is worth $20. Because, like, we have to remember, we're in a Hollow Knight Silksong universe where Hollow Knight Silksong costs $20. This is not... I know this is different universes and different companies, but, like, this for $20 compared to Hollow Knight Silksong for $20 seems a little crazy. But that wasn't the only crazy DLC announcement, Donovan. Pokemon Legends ZA announced the Mega something?
Mega
Evolution?
Dimension.
Mega Dimension.
DLC, yeah, which will be a 2026 thing. The game comes out next month. That's going to be $30, which people have already been discussing and debating. I think there are a couple interesting points with this one. One, the last Legends game, Arceus, infamously never got DLC. Fans wanted it. People did that thing where for those first couple directs after it came out, they were like, "Oh, is this the DLC announcement?" And they just never went back to it. They just moved on and they did Scarlet and Violet, and then those games got DLC. So it is cool to not have to do that again. It's cool to just know right out the gate they're like, "Yeah, there's going to be more to this game." It is like an actual story expansion. It's a follow up to the however the game ends. Apparently, there's like some wormhole that opens up, and there's like an alternate version of the story or the world that you go into. But yeah, it's gonna be $30. So
that moves the price of this game and the DLC up to $100.
Yeah,
just gonna put gamers on high alert that GTA 6 is coming, and that price is going to make gamers mad. Call that now. I think David, you'd kind of mentioned the same thing when we were talking about game prices going up in price. But yeah, I think in a GTA 6 world, $100. AAA is looking at it. They're staring at that $100 price point now. DK Bonanza with DLC being $90, and yeah, here we are. So I don't hate Emerald Rush, but I want to give it its full playthrough before I weigh on the price. I think Donovan, you're kind of in the same boat. Are you gonna keep playing it?
Yeah. I want to get through it and see what it's like on the other layers. If they have that on every single layer, that might be a bit of a challenge to get through.
I agree. Because it does seem like the rush aspect of it is real. Like there is like a divine path that they have designed for you to go through in each of these levels, where they have placed the emeralds more, like they're more prevalent in certain spots of the level. So it's like trying to get you to go a certain way. The canyon level was definitely harder than the DK Island one. I did the DK Island one on my first try. And when I say did it, I got through all 6 waves or stages. So I'm on the lagoon layer now, which isn't the hardest terrain, right? But yeah, like I'm curious which layers they chose to do this on, because some of them are going to be harder than others. And some of them just aren't as big. And also some of them kind of suck. Like the one that's just a pile of dirt, that one kind of sucks. I don't want to do this there. So we'll see down the road. Stay tuned. I'm not done playing this game, but I am playing F-Zero 99 more. I just want to say it before we move on further. I streamed F-Zero 99 on its 2nd anniversary, which is September 14th, not 13th. I always confuse it. I think it's because like Japan time and also when the direct aired versus when they actually released the game. But yeah, streamed it. I kind of highlighted the trials and tribulations of the F-Zero 99 player on the stream, where many times I died on the last lap or the last turn of the last lap, and I was in 2nd or 3rd place. But I actually ended the stream with a win, you guys. That's
pretty epic.
It's my 16th win, and I did a UNLV Bear style highlight of the videos. You can check it out on the different vertical video platforms, and it's also on YouTube. I did that the Deadpool version of Like a Prayer underneath it and made it all hype with the Martin Scorsese cinema bumper at the end. But yeah, played F-Zero 99, still awesome game. Congratulations to those devs on making it 2 years with the live service game built around the F-Zero franchise. The community is still alive and well. It's the best racing game on the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, I said that, Steve Tominski. And David, I think you probably like Kart World more. And Donovan's also holding back saying that he likes Mario Kart more. But yeah, if you're a racing game fan, I highly recommend playing F-Zero 99. Still doing great. I think they have a world tour event happening this weekend. So they're still doing like in-game events and weekend events, and it's alive and well, and that's exciting. And it runs flawlessly, unlike Donkey Kong Bonanza at the end of the game. While we're on the topic of racing games,
yes.
Did you see the Sonic Racing Crossworlds ad?
Yep.
So,
good.
Look, hi Sonic Twitter. I know I'm a part of you guys. I've been drafted into this family for some reason. I like Sonic Racing Crossworlds. We talked about it a few episodes ago, Don. It's actually quite fun. But there's something really ironic about them reviving console war rhetoric when there is no Sega console. It's like, you lost the war. You already lost. It's like, hey, remember?
They flew the white flag. They were like, we're done.
This game is out on Switch. This game is coming to Switch too. Like, you lost. You lost. You lost. So it's weird that they're doing this. Also, as the tribal chief of the cow mains, I have to make this statement on behalf of all cow mains. How dare you, Sega? How dare you try to make fun of cow? I don't know if you saw it. There's a picture, there's a scene in that commercial, David, where it's a Winnebago and a cow. And they're like, yeah, you can roam the open range, or you can play this awesome racing game. And I'm like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Cow did nothing to deserve that shade. Sure. Sure. Stingbee, you could have made fun of Stingbee. You could have made fun of Parabilla Buddy. You could have made fun of any of the other ones, but they came at my main. Cow. How dare they?
It's really funny that they're trying to start console war rhetoric with Mario Kart, which is going to outsell Sonic Racing like 10-1.
Yeah.
Like, no shade against Sonic Racing. It's a good game. But this is Mario Kart. This is the juggernaut. This is the system seller. It's just kind of funny to me.
It screams, I'm going to say it. It screams Blue Sky Energy. It's just Blue Sky Energy. Like, that's Blue Sky Energy right there. It's like, I'm going to talk about this thing that's super popular over there. I'll tell you what, these 4 people are going to hear this. But yeah, Sonic fans are crazy. They love their franchise. They're very defensive of their franchise. So this is like a rallying cry for them. And yes, this game is on other platforms. And it runs great on all of them. So I'm of the opinion that we are entering a new renaissance of racing games. And I'm here for all of them. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't want that racing game, or I think this one's better. Like, who cares? If you're having fun playing a racing game, enjoy it. Like, yes, you have Steve from Minecraft and Hatsune Miku and the guys from Yakuza are going to be in your game. Cool, embrace that stuff. The vehicle customization in Sonic Racing Crossworlds is way more in-depth than Mario Kart World. So it's like, embrace what makes your game cool. But like, saber rattling when you caked your pants so hard with the Dreamcast is the weirdest self-own that a lot of people don't seem to be getting, because they weren't even alive when the Nintendo Sega rivalry was real, David. Like, Donovan, I don't think you were even born when the Genesis Does What Nintendo Don't ads aired. So, like, are you going to get...
have homages to that, I think.
It definitely does, but did you know that when you were watching it, or did you, like, see someone else mention that? Like, it's just...
Oh, no, they were done making consoles by the time I was playing video games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's... As someone who's been around for a while, David, as a video game historian, like, it's just kind of funny. It's like, look, the fucking console wars are over, dude. Like, why are you bringing back this rhetoric? It's stupid. Like, let's just all enjoy our games, which I know is too hard to do on social media these days. But, like, what a weird thing to, like, try to own Nintendo on.
I mean, you could also just read it as like a playful like jab, because I mean, the beginning of the trailer starts off, they're showing the like pixelated cartwheel footage. The first thing he says is, "This game's great. We don't have to show it to you." But, which like you said, it's like a rallying cry to Sonic fans. But at the end of the day, the game's coming out on Switch, right? Like, I think if they had if there was actual business beef, or those companies weren't happy with each other, Nintendo just wouldn't put their game on their system, right? I mean, we've seen them just not publish games on that console when people are trying to take shots at them. I don't know. I think it's them just trying to go viral, and for what it's worth, it worked, because that tweet had millions of impressions.
Yes,
people being like, "Oh shit, what's going on?"
And now that picture of the cow in the Winnebago has become a meme that everyone's spamming in reply to Nintendo posts about Mario Kart. So it's like, it worked. Congratulations, Sega. I'm gonna go let everyone know on my Dreamcast 3 that you guys won the console war. Oh wait, you didn't. You caked your pants repeatedly. Like, multiple times, David. We watched Saturn, we watched Sega CD, we watched Dreamcast. Like, the nerve of these people. And yes, I'm heated because they came after my main, damn it, and I am the tribal chief of the cow mains. If they left cow out of this, I wouldn't be this heated. Like, how dare they? Cow is a great character in a great video game that I still haven't reviewed, but I'm working on. And yeah, like, I like Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I'm not mad. Like, I want to play that game. I don't think this was needed, but good for them for trying. Like, just ironic. I can't help but just look at this and like be like, huh, that's a choice. Like, good for you guys. I kind of want to pat them on the head and be like, good job. You really showed us something. But yeah, but like, Donovan, if this was an isolated incident around this game's promotion, I wouldn't care as much.
Yeah, it's clearly an emphasis for them because yeah, they did it. It's SGF too,
and it was like, our racing game has crossplay. It's like, so a first party game doesn't have crossplay? That's an own? Like, you failed so badly on your console platform that you are now crossplay and third party. But yes, please go own Nintendo, which just sold 67 million units of their kart racer on only one system. Like, it's such a weird self-own that a lot of people have too much cognitive dissonance to even understand. And I just use a term that they probably don't understand either. Anyway, I wouldn't be this heated if it weren't for you guys attacking my main.
I mean, I think it's all silly. I just don't buy the like, there's beef now. Like, I saw people being like, well, guess Sonic's not going to be in the next Smash game. And I'm like, it's not that serious, guys.
No.
If fucking Sakurai wants to put Sonic in the next Smash, he'll just be in the next Smash. There's not like some blood feud that's been rekindled by this.
But
yeah.
Sonic Racing Crossworlds was not in the Nintendo Direct.
It was not. There you go.
And Ozzy's crazy predictions of like a Nintendo character being in the Crossworlds, no way. That's not happening.
No.
But yeah, anyway, I wanted to touch on that because I thought it was kind of ridiculous. Let's talk about prices of things a little bit more, because I feel like that's a legitimate conversation that's still occurring on social media today. And I think it's valid to talk about, but it's also important to give context to this argument. And I think that's what a lot of people seem to be missing these days, is the actual context of why things are going up in price versus corporate greed. So actually, let's play a game. What do you guys say? I'll be your host.
Ooh.
This game is called Tariffs, Corporate Greed, or Both. Okay. I will not be judging a winner or a loser, but here's the game, and I'll even participate. Okay, so let's start with Amiibo. Amiibo prices have gone up a lot, right? I believe when they launched, they were $12.99. Some of these are what, $40 now, Donovan?
Yeah, some of them are a little pricey. I think some of the recently announced ones, like the Samus with the motorcycle, I think is up there.
So these optional collectible purchases are going up in price. Like, you don't need them. They don't actually do anything, I don't think. It's less of like Toys to Life than it used to be, right? It's more like, hey, it has near-field communication. It'll give you a hat or something. So yeah, Amiibo prices are high. Amiibo prices high. So I ask you two, tariffs, corporate greed, or both? Don, I'll let you go first.
Amiibo, since it's a physical product, is probably closer to tariffs, I would say.
David, what do you think?
Tariffs.
I'm gonna say both. But here's what I want to make a point about Nintendo and how they are greedy in times. They have increased the price of all their accessories in lieu of increasing the price of the Switch 2, right? So the Switch 2 base model is $450, bundle is $500. The controllers have gone up in price, all these other things have gone up in price. Why I say this is corporate greed is that they're not needed. We don't need any of this stuff. Like, they didn't have to bring these back. They're not going to like add much to the gameplay if you buy them. Like, the original thought behind the Amiibo was actually kind of cool. And it was at a time where like Disney Infinity was popping off, Skylanders was kind of doing its thing. And also, $12.99, it got you $12.99 quality, or lack thereof. Do you remember some of the original Amiibo? They were terrible looking. And like,
rough, yeah.
Like the face models were weird. Some of them had like just chunks of crap hanging off of their face because they were poorly made. So these look better. They're larger. They're better. And yeah, to your point, Donovan, I think a lot of these are made in China, where we currently have a 30% tariff. So I think it's both, in that Nintendo, why I say it's greed is they don't need to do this. they didn't need to do this, right? It's just additional stuff that they didn't need to do. So they've created this discussion around it just in the name of increasing revenue. But they would not be this expensive if it wasn't for the tariffs. So I think it's both. I think that it obviously, like maybe $30 for some of these premium amiibo is where it would have been. But I can tell you, I was at Best Buy. I was doing due diligence for my own PC purchase because I need to upgrade. My PC is very old, and I went to Best Buy to see like their in stock pre-built. My God, was it horrible, David? The selection was god awful in Best Buy. Best Buy is basically an appliance store with like some computers lying around in the back and a gaming corner and maybe some TVs and phones. Sorry, I forgot about the phones. But yeah, I saw the amiibo selection. Nobody is buying these amiibo at these prices. The $30 is too high. $40 is absurd. You can buy Mario Galaxy 2 or a single amiibo. Like, I'm buying the game over the amiibo. So like, I'm gonna say a little bit of both here, but I can tell you that the market is speaking, and $40 ain't it. They're not gonna move these for $40. And I'm like, I can afford them, but I'm like, yeah, I already kind of cut the amiibo habit out of my life. So I'm like, do I really want to get back into this at these prices? No. And we've already seen some of the new ones this year, like the Street Fighter ones. They were on sale on Amazon. I don't know if they're still on sale, but they were last week. So I don't think these are selling at all. But I did not see a single Switch 2 in Best Buy. They were not for sale there. They had sold out. I did see their demo kiosk where they had Street Fighter running in handheld and Donkey Kong Bonanza's new demo, which they announced that too, Don, and they have a free demo for Donkey Kong Bonanza now. That was running on the tabletop mode. So they have like a kiosk at Best Buy for that now where people can play it. No consoles. The accessories were very hard to find in that store. But I think people just don't know that Meyer has video games, David. Because I saw the same four Switch 2s were still sitting there when I was there this weekend. So I think people, if you're in Canton, Ohio, and you need a Switch 2, go to Meyer. And then try to pray to God that you can even find a person to unlock the thing. Because I don't know if it's like Walmart or Target in that sense where you have to like flag down someone. It's also like tucked away. Like there's no like, hey, here's the Nintendo Switch 2, kids. Like no one would even know to look there. So I think they're doing a disservice to their own sales of the product. But yeah, like I haven't seen these in stock anywhere else. But anyway, I thought the amiibo price were kind of absurd. So back to the DLC. Donkey Kong Bonanza and Pokemon DLC. Tariffs or corporate greed? Or both? Donovan?
I mean, I guess it's corporate greed out of the ones available. For me, the jury's still out on Pokemon. That could end up being a pretty significant story expansion because Scarlet and Violet had two updates, two DLCs that were 15 a pop, which added up to 30. That added like a good amount to those games, I'd say. And if it's in that area with Legends EA, I'd find it to be fair. Donkey Kong, a little less forgivable in what I've played of it. Maybe I'll finish and be like, wow, that has really transformed how I feel about this game. But I'd say corporate greed. And I think somebody else made a pretty good point on social media last week. I forget who. But just the idea that, like, yes, tariffs are driving up the prices of a lot of these things. But also, if magically all these tariffs vanish tomorrow morning, do we think that all these prices would go back down on all these consoles and games and DLC? Probably not. It's not just a Nintendo thing. I don't think Sony is going to go back on PS5 price. I don't think Xbox is going to go back on Series X price. So I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both in there.
Yeah, and I think it's important to break out the two. Like, we don't know what the Pokemon DLC is going to be yet. It might be worth the $30, so we're not going to judge that. But I'll jump ahead of you, David. I think the DLC for Donkey Kong is corporate greed. That could have been a free update. Sorry, go ahead, David.
I was just say corporate greed.
Yeah, I just let's see. We'll wait and see with Pokemon, but it's not tariffs in this case because these aren't packaged goods. These are software downloadable content, and they already had this track for the high tier subscription service of expansion pack getting you DLC, like for Animal Crossing, or I can't remember what other games. I think it was not Tears, but Breath of the Wild. Was it Breath of the Wild? I don't know what other things are part of that, but like I know that Animal Crossing was included in that. The bigger.
Oh yeah, the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom upgrades are part of the expansion pack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the subscription service pricing is getting kind of muddled and weird at Nintendo. I think they need to flesh that out a little bit more or communicate it better. So yeah. While we're on the topic of prices of things, I get. We already talked about Mario Galaxy. I don't think any of us think that's corporate greed. I think it's just like they're selling video games. But to your point, Donovan, I think Pandora's box has been opened by the video game industry. $70 is the price now. Like, we're not going back to 60. And we may go to 80 at times, but we're not going back to 60. There's going to be like 50, 40, $20 games, $5 games, $10 games, $3 games. But I don't think we're ever going to see a 60 come back. Like, even if the tariffs disappeared. And I think that we're seeing with these, the game key cards, it's such a weird thing in that it's not the game, but you're still creating the tariff problem because it is physical. So they're almost like the worst combination of everything. It's like you found a way to screw over the pricing of digital games in a physical package. Like, congratulations, Nintendo. You played yourself there. Like, that to me is just not just corporate greed, it's like stupid because it's backfiring big time. And I don't get it. But while we're on the topic of price, this ROG Xbox Ally has no price. They started giving us more specs. Apparently there's like, there've been hands-on events like where it was at PAX, it was at Gamescom. People are talking about how great it is or the experience of it and how it's the Xbox with the power of the cloud and whatever else. No price. What do you think's going on there?
It's going to cost a lot of money. It might cost a 4-digit number.
I think it's costing a four-digit number.
Yeah. We're seeing this a lot. It's not just a Nintendo thing where we watch these showcases, things get revealed, and everyone's like, but how much does it cost? And we're just not getting that answer soon anymore. They used to just put it up on the screen and tell you, and now it's like, yeah, about that. And they do the Dave Chappelle knock over the water and run out the room.
That's how most of these directs and presentations are ending now. Jeff Keighley knocks over the water and just runs.
Yeah.
Which, get paid, Jeff. But like, yeah, I have a feeling it's bad news. I have a feeling that the price of the Xbox, the ROG Xbox Ally X and the ROG Xbox Ally might be high. Might be higher than people think. Because Asus, the company building it, they're a Chinese company, right? Like most of their stuff comes from China. So I kind of want to just talk about my experience buying a PC real quick in the context of these tariffs.
Sure.
It's like impossible to find parts right now. I don't build PCs very often. I try to build them for like 5 to 10 years of useful life. So I usually build ridiculous specs. I call them beast PCs. I can't build a beast PC right now, guys. I can't get all the parts. I can't find the motherboard that fits with the CPU, that fits with the GPU. I can't find the one with enough M2 slots where I could have an absurd amount of storage. I can't find the power supply that would power these things. I can't find the case. Everything is in short supply. So I said, screw it. I'm going to try to find a laptop, which is like hell for gaming, right, David? Like a gaming laptop is a special kind of hell that I don't wish on anyone, except myself. I was like, okay, fine. Let's see what Razer has. Their top of the line Razer is the 16, the Blade 16 or whatever. And it's like the MacBook Pro of PCs. It's very thin. It has great processor. It has a GPU that would fit my needs. It was like a 5080 that had 12 gigs of RAM. Most of these gaming laptops you can't even buy. They're just not for sale. So they're running into problems with supplying the actual product. And I think that they're also running into problems with tariffs These laptops that used to cost $3,000 to $4,000, they're now costing over $5,000, which is absolutely insane to buy a gaming laptop for $5,000. There was no way in hell I was going to do that. And I also don't want an 18-inch display, which was like the one Razer that was available. And it was like every time I tried to choose 64 gigs of RAM, I couldn't. That was another thing I was finding hard to find, was a specific speed and quality of RAM is actually hard to find. So I did it. I bought a freaking pre-built desktop. It's coming this week. But like, the sticker shock was real. It's expensive to buy a computer right now. Which brings me back to the Switch 2. Given the tariff situation, the performance that we're getting out of the Switch 2 is actually quite impressive for a $500 post-tariff device. I'm actually less annoyed by the price of the Switch 2 after trying to find a high-end gaming PC or trying to build a high-end gaming PC. GPUs specifically are upwards of $3,000 right now. That used to be what you would spend on an entire build, David, and now it's the GPU. So for Switch 2 to be a $500 console and they're actually selling it at break even or close, I actually think it's kind of impressive from a hardware perspective, what they're doing. And I think that you're going to see challenges from these other platforms like the Xbox ROG, Xbox Ally Series X, or whatever the hell they're calling it. Methinks that there's a bad price point, and that's why they're not saying it. Or somewhere at Microsoft, they're just crossing their fingers that Trump and China come to a deal before the release date, and they can like lower it before announcing it, right? Because I think they told IGN in an interview was like a month ago or around Gamescom that they're like, we haven't announced the price due to market, like
it's like the generic global market conditions.
Yeah, market
statement.
conditions, right? Market conditions is a way to say tariffs without saying tariffs. And we now have the data. The tariffs are hurting the economy here in the United States. Just are. And I question if $1,000 gaming device will sell in this environment. I really do question that. And it's a relative value thing, but props to Nintendo for at least trying to get something out the door close to $400, probably before the tariff. If you look at the price over in Japan for the Switch 2, it's around $350 American. So like, if you didn't have the tariffs, the Switch 2 might be like a really, really good deal. I still think it's a decent deal when you compare it to the opportunity cost of buying a PC that can run 4K games, or like even finding, like, David, like, what do you have, like a 4070 Ti or something in your computer?
That's it exactly. Yep.
I can't even find it. Like, it's such a good processor. It's a good value for a processor. It's like you can find it, but it'll cost you like over $2,000. So like, kudos to you on you were ahead of the game, man. I gave you crap about when you bought it because I was like, oh, you guaranteed they're going to announce a 5090. The monkey paw curled when I said that because the tariffs came to town and they ruined everything. And like, I bought, it was really funny. I did this deep dive on laptops specifically over the weekend because I was like, maybe I should just get a gaming laptop. Every single laptop reviewer said that my MacBook is the best laptop you can buy for performance purposes. Not for gaming, but for performance. Like pound for pound performance, that MacBook Pro with the M4 whatever processor in it is like the best laptop out there. So I got the best laptop already. I was like, fine, I'm going to go. I went with iBuyPower after watching like Gamers Nexus, a bunch of these other great channels. Shout out to Gamers Nexus, by the way. They got their NVIDIA. They did this amazing documentary investigative piece, David, about NVIDIA AI GPUs being smuggled to China. And he met with people who are modding those so that they perform better than some of the AI chips that Americans are buying. Shout out to Gamers Nexus. They got their video back online. They had a big fight with Bloomberg over this. They sampled a 30-second clip of the United States president speaking that was from a Bloomberg clip. And Bloomberg claimed the entire video, which was 3.5 hours, 3.5 hour video claimed by Bloomberg because of a 30-second clip of the United States president talking, which falls well within the fair use laws. So they stood up to Bloomberg and they won. So shout out to Gamers Nexus. They do great work. Just wanted to throw that out there. It's a really interesting piece that I think people should watch because it highlights just the black market that is occurring because of these tariffs. It's just, people need to be mindful that these companies are working in an environment that is not really favorable for business, for importing things into the United States. So we're seeing it worse on the accessory and the amiibo front in Nintendo world. I think the evidence is pretty clear with Nintendo's last earnings that they are taking a hit and they're trying to get the Switch 2 in as many hands as possible. And they're sacrificing profitability on that product specifically to do it. And I think they're just like, screw it. Amiibo costs $40 for now. And if the tariffs get pulled back, I do think, Donovan, that might be the one place where you do see them decrease the price.
Sure. I can see that, yeah.
I don't think game prices are going to come down ever. But I do think that there's a chance that the hardware and the accessories would go down in price just in the interest of getting the system into more hands, because then they can make all their money back on the software side. And I think that's the idea here, is Nintendo's trying to build out the Switch 2 platform, and then in year 2, 3, and 4, make back the money that they kind of gave up due to these tariffs. But I think it's just really kind of stupid to ignore tariffs when talking about the affordability of these hardware devices, especially, but also the accessories, and to a lesser extent, the physical versions of the games. And we've talked about it ad nauseum, the problems with storage. You know, they announced that Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming over to the Switch, the release date in January. And it's something like 90 gigs. That's like more than a third of the hardware's storage would be Final Fantasy VII. So
it's absurd.
This is a problem. This is a big problem Nintendo has not addressed yet. And I don't know how they're going to do it. Like 128 gig cartridge is the only way I see any way of doing this. And even that, there's some games that won't fit on it. But I think at least 128 gigs, a lot of these third-party titles would fit. And I honestly might go physical instead of having to like buy an SD card and manage. Like right now, I'm managing storage because like I downloaded NBA 2K and I downloaded Madden. I had to delete Madden to download 2K. Like I'm juggling storage already on my Switch 2. And this is something that we were talking about this in like June and July as a concern of ours. And here we are, it's September and it's here. And by January, it's going to be worse. So that's a problem on the Switch 2 platform that I don't think they've addressed yet. And based on where these cartridges are made and the memory modules are made and the storage modules are made, unless the tariffs go down, the price is going to be absurd for these things. And that just sucks. So yeah, that's a long-winded way of me saying that it's not just Nintendo. It's a lot of companies that import goods into America. And it is hurting our economy. Because on the other side of things, and this is a complete tangent, you know, we grow a lot of soybeans in Ohio. They have bought $0 in China. They bought $0 of soybeans this year. And it's harvest time, David. Like, yeah, you have farms that are just going to be SOL. Like, I don't know what's going to happen here. And that's going to hit America. That's going to hit the price of our food. It's going to hit our economies. It's going to hit these companies that sell what is obviously discretionary products, like consumer discretionary products, like a brand new console, a brand new handheld computer, a laptop. These are purchases that are not always necessary for people. They're extraneous to their everyday life. And if the cost of everything's going up and their wages aren't going up, people will have less money to spend on things. So I do think that's a concern for the whole games industry, not just Nintendo. And yeah, it's just frustrating. I think we're seeing it here in Ohio first, David. Like we drive by farms every day. Like when you go anywhere, you're driving by a farm. And I don't see many MAGA flags anymore at any of those farms.
Nope.
Those are gone. I wonder why. Anyway, that's a good show, right?
Yeah.
We hit all the things. Hopefully next time we'll have more of a Silk Song update. That I feel like if I just say the word Silk Song in a vertical video, it does 10,000 views. So maybe this is the vertical video that Andrew will cut up for us. I hope not. We had some other great
I can add a little something to this conversation.
Okay.
TJ and I both beat the Morwing and Splinter Sister or Sister Splinter bosses before they were nerfed. So that's kind of like a hard game badge of honor right there.
There you go.
And I don't think one of them in particular needed to be nerfed. I think this has kind of started the whole do all video games need difficulty level conversation again, which I don't think they do. I think that the hardest part of Silksong honestly is the trek from the nearest bench or bonfire in Dark Souls parlance to a boss fight. That can get a little frustrating.
Yeah.
But that's where I left off. I actually beat those bosses before they were nerfed, and I liked the fights a lot. The boss fights in this game continue to shine for me.
Yes.
It's like the Elden Ring DLC thing, right? Where the final boss of Shadow of the Erdtree, they nerfed after it came out. I remember Sam, who I believe previewed it for us, was calling everybody babies who didn't beat it before they patched it.
Yeah, we actually have several Souls-like players on staff that beat that boss in Elden Ring beforehand. And yeah, to your point, TJ and you have both beaten that Hollow Knight Silksong boss ahead of time, or two of those bosses. Yeah, in a Get Good universe with Get Good devs, I'm surprised that they nerfed that. I did see some reviews are out already. It felt like one review dropped on Saturday, and then like every games media outlet was like, we got to get our review out on Monday. So stay tuned. TJ's streaming the game. We're taking our time with games. What a concept. You know, we're taking time with the hardware. What a concept. Boy, those early takes on the Nintendo Switch 2, I guarantee they're going to differ from my review. But I'm glad that I waited to see what they were doing with this Mario anniversary. Because yeah, I was very negative a few episodes ago. After completing Donkey Kong Bonanza, I was like, But then, as a Mario fan, they're like, here's a nice buffet of various Mario things to look forward to. And here's a before we got a Smash DLC fighter trailer at the end of the Direct, Donovan. Oh no, my bad. It's Fire Emblem. There was a Fire Emblem game trailer. That's right. It wasn't a fighter. Anyway.
Sweet, baby.
But we got something. Like there's like, I felt like that Direct, and we already did this. We already gave our grades, David. I think Dom, you gave it a B, right?
Yeah.
And I gave it an A-. David, what would be your Jeff Keighley grade for the Direct before we go?
Just
letter grade.
Up A.
An A.
Yeah. An A. Yeah.
I gave it an A- because of Virtual Boy. That made
I know you did. I thought that was funny. It
made me feel a type of way. I like collecting random Nintendo shit. And like, I'm just like, maybe by some miracle they'll let us have a review unit of that, and I'll review the Virtual Boy. But I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna sub my face in this. I'm like, I don't know. And it would be funny if that comes out and then some dev creates a new VR game like for the Switch family of products.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of interesting. If that accessory opens the door to like a lower budget VR port world, because like, especially with the refresh rate on the Switch 2, I think someone could hack together a decent port of like, not Beat Saber, because I don't know how you're gonna how would that even work, but like, I don't know. What's another good VR game that they could put on this thing? Maybe like one of the job simulator games. I don't know. Like Alchemy Labs could do something. Or Tetris Effect.
Yeah.
Is the new Luminous VR?
Yes. Has not been announced for Nintendo platforms yet, but yes, it is. It is, I think, MetaQuest and PC VR supported. Yeah, in all of this, I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but Steam has this like interesting patent for Steam Frame, which seems to imply that they might bring back the idea of a Steam machine, David, this like console-like PC
Yeah.
running the Steam Deck OS, the big picture OS. So I'm going to keep an eye on, because I do think Steam and Steam Deck in this universe actually are a really good value compared to a lot of the other stuff we're seeing from companies throwing whatever they can at the wall to compete with Switch 2. I think the Deck is a legit competitor. You know, it's a niche, but for what it is, I think based on my like, I would rather people buy a Steam Deck OLED than try to buy a gaming laptop right now. I think it's a better value, and you can like get a dock for it and plug it into a computer, and you know you can run Linux on desktop, or you know, there's ways to install Windows on these things. It's definitely a hacker's device more than it is like a consumer product at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some options out there for people. But yeah, that'll do it for the show. If you found us through one of those vertical videos, why not like, follow, and subscribe us here? We try to post these at least once a week. We did 2 last week. And yeah, we'd appreciate it. We're gonna have more Donkey Kong Bonanza gameplay hitting our channel. I'm gonna keep playing Emerald Rush, Donovan. I actually, price set aside, I actually do enjoy it quite a bit. So I'll be playing that. I think both of us will get our impressions out there. And then I don't know. I'm gonna start playing Silksong or Hollow Knight. I'm not sure which one I'll do. But yeah, let's get out of here. These guys are still under the weather. So thank you guys for joining me for this. Sorry you guys had to like run out at times, but
All good.
I think this was a great episode. You guys persevered. You did the whole do it for Shacknews thing that we do here. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Adios.